Leader Pablo Iglesias is one of several radical leftist politicians to emerge in Europe in recent years. In January, Alexis Tsipras led his Syriza party to victory in Greece. And in the UK 3 months ago, longtime political outsider Jeremy Corbyn became the leader of the opposition Labour Party. To discuss this, I'm joined by political analyst Caleb Maupin. Hi, Caleb. Thank you for joining us at the program tonight. So first, I want to ask you about the Podemos party. They have some quite radical policies, such as state control of key industries and leaving the NATO. Do you think these ideas are gaining force in Europe? And is there a growing trend to lean towards left-wing populist policies?
Oh, I think there absolutely is. Spain has just been suffering under the wave of austerity. Schools across Spain are closing down. The average school in Spain right now has 40 students per classroom. The cuts in government spending have just been devastating communities across the country. And now people in Spain are saying they've had enough. And the belief that we need a completely free market, unregulated capitalism, this is being rejected by people in Spain, people all across Europe and all across the world. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, free market neoliberal ideas have been ruthlessly imposed on the world. And now people are rejecting them in the wake of the financial crisis.
So you were a prominent figure of the Occupy Wall Street movement yourself, which was partly inspired by the anti-austerity movement in Spain 4 years ago. What has changed, in your opinion, since then?
Well, I think that Occupy Wall Street and the other upsurges that took place in 2011, they were kind of an expression of anger. They were not really clear. They didn't really make any demands or have any program, but that's changing. The young people who are surviving in this low-wage economy, facing a life of short-term, low-paying jobs, are very angry, and they are trying to find a way to express their anger and make sure that the issues they're concerned about become addressed. When we saw that individual punch the president of Spain. I mean, when you see instances like that, the reason that this took place is this is what has happened to so many young people. They've just been cast aside. So many of the young people who used to have a place in the middle classes that once existed in Western Europe and the United States are very frustrated to see what's happened. You know, the good-paying industrial jobs just aren't there, and it's a frustrating situation for millions and millions of young people in Western countries. And there's a rising amount of anger all across the world at the players responsible for the financial collapse.
So now I want to move on to talk about American politics. So socialism has always been a dirty word in American politics, and yet now Bernie Sanders, who openly declares himself as a democratic socialist, as he puts it, has managed to gain huge support. How did this happen, in your opinion?
Well, it's a response to the change in circumstances. When Barack Obama ran for president in 2008, he was called socialist as an insult. But now Bernie Sanders is proudly calling himself a socialist, and people are rallying around him. There is frustration with the way things are. People don't want to live under a low-wage police state. They don't like what Wall Street and the big corporations have planned for the future. They're frustrated, and they want things to change, and that they're expressing themselves at the polls. Whether or not these candidates really represent them or not, they have to talk as if they're opposed to the way capitalism is taking the world.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us, Caleb.